Two titans, two legacies. One ruled the octagon, the other ruled the island. One broke bones, the other broke generations. Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. The rivalry that didn't just rock WWE, it split the entire United States of America in half. From New York to Los Angeles, from Texas to Philadelphia, crowds were never united again, because when these two collided, you had to pick a side. This is the story of power, pride, and passion. A war that turned WWE into a battlefield of loyalty and chaos. For nearly 10 years, the names Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar defined the modern era. Their battles weren't just matches, they were national debates. America didn't watch this feud, it lived it. Every fan had an opinion. Brock's the real fighter. No, Roman's the real champion. This wasn't just wrestling, it was identity. And today, we break down how this rivalry grew from one shocking night into a saga that shook the foundation of professional wrestling. It all began in Santa Clara, California. WrestleMania 31. The bright lights, the open-air stadium, the roar of 76,000 fans. Roman Reigns walked down that long, shining ramp with confidence. But listen closely. Those weren't cheers echoing through Levi's Stadium. Those were boos. Thick, loud, echoing boos from a restless American audience. Roman wasn't the villain. Yet, he was simply a man the system wanted us to love. But America doesn't like being told who its hero should be. Fans from Chicago, Philly, and New York, the heart of hardcore wrestling, all had one message: don't feed us another corporate superstar. Then came the music. The crowd stood up. Brock Lesnar walked out like a storm in human form. The Beast incarnate, a man who conquered UFC, a former NCAA champion, and a walking advertisement for American brute force. He didn't smile, he didn't play nice, he just walked to destroy. When that bell rang, the world saw violence in 4K. Brock threw Roman around like a rag doll. Suplex after suplex, fist after fist. Roman kept getting up, smiling through blood, almost enjoying the punishment. Fans who hated him began whispering, "Wait, he's actually fighting." Then came the twist no one predicted. Seth Rollins' music hit. Money in the Bank cash in. The crowd lost their minds. He curb-stomped Brock, pinned Roman, and stole the title. Fireworks, shock, madness. But deeper than the chaos was a message. America wasn't ready to crown Roman. That cash-in saved WWE from a riot, and it also saved Roman from being rejected forever. It planted the seed for a rivalry that would grow darker with time. After WrestleMania 31, fans hoped that was it, but WWE had other plans. They saw dollar signs, not fatigue. By 2018, the Roman vs. Brock reruns became a meme. WrestleMania 34, New Orleans. The fans were burned out. Beach balls flew across the crowd. Chants of boring and "this is awful" filled the Superdome. Brock's suplexes felt the same. Roman's spears felt predictable. The audience knew every beat of the story, and they weren't buying the ending. And behind the scenes, things were tense. Reports whispered that Brock threw the Universal title at Vince McMahon backstage. Roman left the ring bloodied, his face crimson, his expression blank. He looked less like a chosen hero and more like a man questioning why. But WWE wouldn't quit. They tried again at Greatest Royal Rumble, again at SummerSlam, over and over. It wasn't just overexposure, it was rebellion. Fans in America started booing Roman out of principle. They didn't hate him, they hated being manipulated. They wanted real storytelling. Yet every time Roman stood up, took another spear, another F5, the story shifted a little. The fans slowly started to see the grit underneath the push. Maybe, just maybe, he was more than a corporate experiment. And through it all, Brock Lesnar remained Brock Lesnar. Cold, dominant, detached. The perfect villain America couldn't stop cheering. Their chemistry was chaos, and WWE, for better or worse, kept lighting the fuse. Then came silence. The pandemic emptied arenas. No cheers, no boos, just echoes. Roman Reigns disappeared for months, dealing with life, health, and doubt. When he returned at SummerSlam 2020, everything changed. Gone was the polite babyface. In his place stood a man reborn. Dark, dominant, confident, the tribal chief. He didn't beg for approval anymore. He demanded acknowledgement. He didn't smile for cameras. He stared through them. And the fans, even the ones who hated him, started to respect him. Then, when the dust settled, a familiar sound broke the silence. Cowboy Brock walked out. Hair in a ponytail, beard rugged, smile wicked. America lost its collective mind. This was no longer the beast of 2015. This was an unleashed version, raw, free, chaotic, and in the middle of it stood one man sweating under pressure. Paul Heyman. Heyman was once Brock's voice, his strategist, his advocate, but now he was standing beside Roman Reigns, clutching the Universal title like a nervous diplomat. You could feel the tension in every segment. Who owned Heyman's loyalty? Was he manipulating Roman or protecting him from Brock? This storyline didn't just build matches, it built suspense like a movie. Each SmackDown felt like a mafia drama. Heyman glancing nervously, Roman glaring silently, Brock grinning like he already knew the ending. And when the two finally stood face to face again, America froze. Because this wasn't 2015 anymore. This was a real rivalry. Layered, emotional, unpredictable. The tribal chief had found his greatest test. Dallas, Texas, AT&T Stadium, over 70,000 fans screaming in a sea of lights. It was promoted as the biggest WrestleMania match of all time. Champion versus champion, Beast versus Chief, Old Guard versus New Era. Roman Reigns entered draped in gold, flanked by the Usos, glowing like a king. Brock Lesnar rolled out with that devil-may-care grin, slapping hands with fans, cowboy hat tilted. The atmosphere was electric. You could feel the divide. Half the crowd yelling Suplex City, half screaming acknowledge him. From the first lockup, it was chaos. Brock Lesnar hit suplexes so violent the ring ropes shuddered. Roman countered with Superman punches that echoed like shotgun blasts. Every move drew gasps. Every fall drew roars. Then came the finish. Roman speared Brock with everything he had. Not once, but twice. 3 times. And finally, the referee's hand hit the mat. 1, 2, 3. Roman Reigns, undisputed WWE Universal Champion. The arena exploded, half in celebration, half in disbelief. Some said it was the perfect ending. Others called it a letdown. Too short, too safe. But one truth remained. The feud had made history. It wasn't just another WrestleMania. It was a cultural event, a mirror of America itself. 2 alpha males representing 2 ideologies, dominance versus respect. And for millions watching, it felt like the end of an era, or maybe the start of something even bigger. Just when we thought it was over, WWE shouted one more match. This time, last man standing, Nashville, open air, the crowd sweating under Tennessee heat, chanting before the match even started. Brock Lesnar drove to the ring in a tractor. Yes, an actual tractor. He lifted the ring off the ground, flipped it like a toy, and the internet broke in half. Roman Reigns, fighting through exhaustion, was no longer the smiling face, he was the survivor. Every F5 looked fatal. Every spear looked desperate. Paul Heyman screamed from ringside like a man watching 2 worlds collide. The Usos interfered, the commentary team shouted until they lost breath, and the referee barely escaped destruction. The match became chaos incarnate. And then, silence. Roman stood over Brock's broken body, clutching both titles, his chest heaving. Fireworks exploded. The bloodline raised their fingers. For the first time, both men smiled. Not in arrogance, but respect. That was the ending America needed. Not scripted perfection, earned closure. The Beast bowed to the Chief, and the Chief nodded to the Beast. Years later, fans still argue on social media, podcasts, and comment sections. Who carried the rivalry? Was it Brock Lesnar, the pure athlete, the destroyer who gave legitimacy to every punch? Or was it Roman Reigns, the man who evolved before our eyes, who turned boos into awe? This feud became a reflection of the American wrestling fan base itself. One half worships the old school tough guy mentality. Fight first, talk later. The other half craves storytelling, leadership, and legacy. Brock represents the America of grit, farms, and fists. The no-talk, just work generation. Roman represents the America of image, dominance, and evolution. The generation that built empires through confidence. Every arena became a political debate with body slams. Every press conference a clash of values. And that's why it never died. Because Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar wasn't just about championships. It was about what America believed a champion should be. To some, Roman finally proved himself worthy. To others, Brock never needed proving at all. But both, together, defined a decade. Two men, two legacies, one nation torn between them. Brock Lesnar will forever be the unstoppable beast, the man who made the impossible look routine. Roman Reigns will forever be the tribal chief, the strategist who turned hate into history. When future generations ask, what was the rivalry that defined 21st century WWE? There's only one answer: the rivalry that divided America. Because greatness doesn't unite, it challenges, it makes you choose. And every time we heard those entrance themes echo through US arenas, we were reminded WWE was alive. So now, WWE Universe. Was Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar a story of destiny fulfilled and/or overhyped chaos? Did it define an era or exhaust it? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Whose side were you on, the Beast or the Chief? The best takes get pinned. And if you want the next deep dive on WWE's most shocking rivalries, hit subscribe, because the next war is already brewing. This is Power Unscripted, and where wrestling's biggest stories get unmasked.